And welcome to this Let's Mind Travel podcast. As of right now, it is about 8 o'clock, so fairly on time. I appreciate everybody for joining, all the people watching live, all the people that are going to be watching after it's been posted on the channel. Highly, I don't know, I'm not able to see the chat. Regardless, so like I said though, tonight, if you saw the post or even in the title, you will know that my guest is going to be Eddie Booz. He is a good friend of mine, known the guy, let's just call it 20 years, if not 20 years, very damn close. Since I've known him, I actually met him because he was performing at a party at one point, and I got to see his band. And ironically, today when I posted I'd be interviewing him, one of the people that I went to that party with messaged me, and that was very cool. Sometime down in the future, I'm gonna get my buddy on the podcast because I think it'd be rad to have an old friend of mine that I experienced those post high school years with, a lot of partying, a lot of fun, goofy shit. I actually met Sandy, my wife, at this gentleman's house at a party. So I think it'd be cool. There's a lot of fun stories. Like today, after he messaged me, I started reminiscing myself, and I could think of like 20 hilarious things we can talk about right off the bat. So long story short story long, whatever you want to call it. But I usually do like to check out the chats. I don't know why I'm not able to see them right now. Kind of sucks, to be honest with you. But hopefully I get that figured out at some point. So yeah, like I was saying though, Eddie should be coming on here just any minute now. But I will give you guys a little bit of an update on what's been going on with me, if that's of interest to you. I went to Colorado this past weekend. I'm sure a lot of you, if not all of you, watch the podcast, the Shane Dawson podcast that I'm a part of. So I went to Colorado. It's the first time I've traveled in quite a long time. So that was interesting. And I love Colorado. I mean, I've been there several times. I always enjoy it. Very nice scenery. So I went there. We filmed a couple of episodes. The first one should be coming out in like a week or so, and the other one I believe is going to be coming out on the 11th of July. I mean, don't hold me to the dates necessarily, but I think that's kind of the projected plan. But it was very fun, and I'm very excited about the podcast episodes. Hopefully, you guys have been digging those. But while in Colorado, I was able to drive a Tesla, and I will say I'm almost one of these guys that's like anti-Tesla up until about 2 months ago, but that is very impressive. And I don't even like to drive fast, really. I'm usually the guy that just wants to drive like 35 miles an hour when it's 35 miles an hour, 70 on the freeway. But that was pretty fun, pretty exciting. It might be a new life goal of mine to possibly get one, but I think in the next couple of years, all cars are probably going to be offered in an electric form. The technology is going to get even better and better. You know, just like when phones first came out, you had to buy a brick. Now you could get one damn near on your wrist, and it lasts twice as long as the first ones. So we'll see. But I'm just kind of sharing shit at this point. And damn, I'm really bummed that I can't see that I cannot see the live chat. It's kind of bumming me out right now. Let me see if I'm able to just see it on my damn phone. I got to figure it out because I like to be interactive with you guys. And Eddie is actually Eddie's back. Eddie's here. We did a testing earlier, and we got some music lined up for you guys. We're gonna do some actual recorded music that's on YouTube tonight, and then we have a very cool, kind of an announcement that you can check out more of his music. Just a second. Now I'm just sounding stupid because I'm rambling because I'm trying to look for this because I don't want to not see the chat. You know what I'm gonna do here? I'm gonna bring Eddie on, man. What's going on, Eddie? Sorry for that very weak introduction. I've been talking for a couple minutes, and then
Oh, you're
are
good,
you
bro. Thanks for having me
by
on the show. I really appreciate it.
Nah, of course, dude. By any chance, are you able to see a live chat as we're talking?
I can see the live chat, no problem.
I wonder what it is, dude. It got to be something. Well, how about this? If something speaks to you on the live chat, I just think I don't want to have to like put down the link and all that stuff. And
Bro, you're getting all kinds of love here, dude. You need to see the chat, dude. People love you
I
on
know I do need to see.
podcast, bro. Like I think it's imperative that you can see the chat at some for like some way here. Figure it out, dude. Take your time, dude. Nobody's rushing. You know, I'm not in a hurry.
You know what, dude? I got so much technology at my fingertips, bro. I got a phone. I'm watching it, you know. So here it is. I got it. I got it going. Let me see if I could even do that way. That's even better. That's not better. Whatever, dude. But how you doing today, bro? How's your day going so far? It's hump day. Did you make it past the hump successfully? How's it? How you doing?
Oh my yeah, dude. I'm always doing fine, dude. Like for what I do for a living, there's never like a day that I'm like looking at like there's never a day that I wake up and I go, "Oh man, like I have to go do my job today." You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. On that note, I mean, that's a great first thing to talk about. What is your job? What are you going and doing every day that feels like it's not working? Is something you love?
So I'm a composer, I'm a songwriter, and I'm a performer as well. So I do a lot of different things. So I write music for film and television. Some of the movies and TV shows I have are on Amazon, Netflix, Redbox. You can buy my movies at Walmart, Target, see them at Lifetime, BET, all over TV and the internet as well. You know, on different like subscription services, and things like that. And then I also perform multiple nights a week. Last night I performed over at Tantalum in Long Beach. It's a really nice little spot, like right on the water there. I perform at like Panama Joe's, real nice little spot. Actually, that's a pretty big like college spot, and I'm there sometimes, and a couple other little places around here and stuff like that. And I also own a nonprofit organization that teaches songwriting to kids in after school programming. And we take like a group of 15 kids and we run them through an 8-week program where it's like we put instruments in their hands and we do like just we immerse these kids in music through kinetic experience and group discussion, and everything's super engaged. And at the end of the 8 weeks, we write a song together. We record it in a professional recording studio, and then they get to perform it and other songs they learned during the time that we were together as a group at a real music venue. So they get to take home a copy of the song they wrote. They get to be a part of something that's very creative. And so I do all of those things. But right now, I'm actually recording. I actually produce other people and myself as well. I'm just finishing up with my album right now. So I'm going to be releasing a full length album pretty soon. Um, and yeah, that's what I've been doing as far as this last few weeks. I've been focused on finishing up this album and going ahead and be releasing that pretty soon.
Hell yeah, dude. Just really quickly, man. People are saying your audio might be a little low. I don't know if you want to just raise it a tiny touch or whatnot,
Let me
but
see.
but I want to make
I
sure
can do
everyone
that.
hears what you're saying, bro. It's all very important.
Check 1 2. How's that? Any better?
It sounds louder, dude. It sounds great. I'm sure they'll say
Check
something
check
if it
check
doesn't.
check check check. All right.
So So to get into it a little bit, man, when I first met you, you were in bands, playing, like at parties and obviously doing other and bigger shows
Right.
and recording music. And then you know how life is. There was a gap of time where we really didn't talk to each other very often. And then after the gap, when I spoke with you, is you were doing something for the Long Beach Press Telegram. Is that something that you still do? Like, or you were doing maybe freelance work and you were doing an article?
You know what? I was doing stuff for I was actually freelance writing for a couple of different publications here in Long Beach, and I did that very very briefly. Actually, I spoke with I interviewed people like Mark D. Piazza. I did RBX, who's like Snoop Dogg's cousin. I put out a new album. I did Zen Robbie. I did a lot of like album reviews and things like that. Interviewed musicians. It was more of like it was kind of like a music thing, and that was kind of freelance. I did that for a couple of different online publications.
Dope, dude. And I remember I went to your house and we did like an interview and whatnot. And then at that point, you were working on, I believe it was like Freeway Rick Ross or something, dude.
Yeah.
Did that
So
strike
when
a bell? You were doing maybe a documentary or some kind of a movie. Was,
yeah,
was that
correct.
kind of in the beginning of you starting to do composing like that, or had you already
Yeah.
been doing it for years?
No, that was kind of towards the beginning of me working in film and television in general. So what happened was, it's funny. It was kind of a funny story. Like, how I got into film and television actually is, in after the market crashed in like 2008, 2009, I was, um, everything was, rough. I got laid off. I was in education at the time. I was doing site directing for after school programs for other organizations here in Long Beach, California. And when I got laid off, I thought to myself, well, I have a unique opportunity here to try and, really just work in the music business. So I called everybody I knew that worked in music. That was, and I just said, I'll run cable, I'll get coffee, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll start at the bottom. Just let me work at your recording studio, or let me work at the record label, or let me work here, you know? And I called all kinds of people, and nobody was hiring. Everybody was scared to move forward with any kind of business opportunities at that point because everybody lost their ass in the market. And I finally called a buddy of mine who owned this small record label named called Dream House Records. And they had an artist who was on Warner Brothers. His name was Joffrey, Jahfree. And he's done a lot of stuff. And he was moving from the urban side to the rock side. And this guy called me kind of in the mid 2000s, and he asked me if I'd come and do some songwriting. So I came in. They said they wanted him to kind of sound like Lenny Kravitz. So I brought some songs into the studio. Actually, I went into the studio. I wrote 3 tunes there, hung out with these guys or whatever. And a couple years later, I call this guy and I say, hey, let me come work in your recording studio. Let me come work at the record label you got. And he goes, oh, I'm not doing music anymore. I'm doing movies now. He goes, come out and pick me up tomorrow at my house in Rancho Cucamonga. And let's go down to my movie set. And he's got a movie set going on in Toluca Lake. And so I'm in Long Beach. He's in Rancho. It was an hour away. Toluca Lake's another hour the other direction. So I'm like, all right, whatever, let's do it. So I go pick him up the next morning. We head out to Toluca Lake and we show up on the set of this movie, and it's a real movie. Like, it's like Stacey Dash from Clueless was in it. Wesley Jonathan was in it. Terrell Owens, the football star, was in it. And I'm looking around going like, oh, this is no joke. This is not like a student film. Like, this is a real movie. Like,
Bro, I know it was serious when you said Toluca Lake, bro. You know, like
right,
I used to live in North Hollywood, and
right,
Toluca Lake, not many people even know about it, but I
bruh,
mean, you
yeah.
got almost every other house is like a movie star, dude.
Yeah,
That's where like Miley Cyrus lived, the Bob
dude,
Hope
she was
Estates.
jogging by the
Yeah.
set multiple times as we
Yeah,
were
like Pete
as it
Diddy has a house over there, Steve Carell. So me and my wife used to drive around like and do little tours. And anytime someone from out of town came in, it's like, oh, let's take you on like the Star Tour. You know what I mean? And I
right,
think we
right,
saw Steve Carell once, dude, out of like
right.
years of doing this. But we drive by and it's like, oh yeah, you could almost just make it up. Like, oh yeah, you know, fucking Steve Martin
Somebody
lives
lives
right here.
there.
You know, who
What?
cares?
Yeah,
That.
right.
But sorry for the small detour. But so you went to this movie set. It,
No,
it was
so
it
yeah, it
was
was
big
crazy.
time. It was
So I'm with
cool.
this guy. Yeah, so I'm with this guy, and everybody's like coming up to us, like they're like completely like, oh, can we get you anything? Can we get you this? Can we get you that? And I'm like, and I finally turned to my buddy like halfway through the day, and I'm like, hey, like, why are they treating us like this? Like, you know, like why are they treating us like royalty? And he goes, oh, I'm the reason this is all going on. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, I'm the executive producer. I put up all the money for this thing. And I'm like, no shit. So the producer comes back over. One of the producers comes back over at some point. We're talking. He looks at me. He goes, "Oh, what do you do?" You know, and I say, I said, you know, hey, I write music. I write music for film and television. And my buddy turns over and looks at me. He goes, "You do?" And I said, "Yeah, man. That's actually what I went to school for. I went to school for commercial and theatrical composition and songwriting." And and he goes, no shit. And the producer was like, yeah, dude, fucking come on into the studio or into the office, you know, in a couple weeks, we'll give you a copy of the movie. We need music for the movie. That was my first movie. I'm not even kidding you. You can be the best at what you do in the world, but unless you get a foot in the door somehow, unless you network properly, it's it's so difficult to break into something along those lines. You want to go to film school for, you know, a time and, you know, do it like that. You want to break in through student film, whatever. But I would suggest heavily finding the person who is where you are and asking them how to get there. Just go with them. Just hang out with them. Make friends with people who are already in the place that you want to be. Surround yourself with those people. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yep.
literally, that was how I got my first movie. And then check this out. So they gave me the DVD. I take it home. I write music for the movie. I send it back. I go meet with the director. They used everything. They didn't only use everything. They used some of my stuff in like multiple parts of the movie that I didn't even like that they added in. And then about 2 months later, 3 months later, I turn on TV, flipping through the channels, see my movie on TV. And that's how I kind of broke into film and television in general. But that guy, that guy, my buddy Patrick Thomas, is he introduced me also to a couple of other people as well, and we worked kind of as a team. And right around the time, I'm not sure if you guys know the story about Freeway Rick Ross, not the rapper Rick Ross, Freeway Rick Ross, the ex drug kingpin from the 80s. There's a big huge drug scandal that happened in the 80s where he was apparently he was getting the drugs from the government or from somebody, you know, in the CIA or something like that. And he was the first person to like pre-cook coke into crack and sell it on the street at a markup. So it was, and he, so apparently there was a big thing about like him being responsible for like the crack epidemic in LA back then. So anyway, so this went on for years, like a decade or more. And he ended up going to prison for life. He ended up getting a life sentence in prison. He spent 26 years in prison. And he educated himself about the law while he was in prison. He ended up appealing his own case and getting out 26 years later, getting released 26 years later on a technicality. And anyway, so he gets out. And as soon as he got out, his story was unfucking believable. I mean, you talk about conspiracy theories, bro. When I read the script for the movie, just the script for the movie that was going to be about him, which was written by Nick Cassavetes, who wrote and directed Blow, John Q, The Notebook. He's done a bunch of really amazing things. So Nick Cassavetes writes this script, right? And my buddy just so happened one of the producers that I'm partners with happened to be in this production meeting with Rick and Nick and a couple other people, right? So I get the script later on that night. My buddy Neil sends it to me. I'm reading this script about Rick, about like the life of Rick and like what happened with the drugs and shit. And I get like page 7, bro. And I put the script down and I walk out to my window and I like crack my like blinds on my window and I'm like, am I supposed to know this shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's super like the story goes up to the highest levels of government at the time, all the way back to the Iran-Contra scandal in '79. It's fucking bonkers, dude. It's so bonkers that the guy who broke the story was named Gary Webb. In fact, they made a movie about him. Jeremy Renner played him. It was called Kill the Messenger. This guy, Gary Webb, worked for the San Francisco Sun. And when he broke the story of Rick Ross, the next day he was found murdered in his apartment with not one. Actually, it was a suicide. Sorry about that. He was found suicided in his apartment with not one but 2 gunshot wounds to the head.
Damn.
Can you still hear me? Are you still there?
No. I can hear you, man. I can hear you.
Cool. Okay, so check this out.
I just listen.
So Rick and my partner, they start getting into some stuff, and my partner helped Rick out with a couple of other businesses at the time as well. I even actually loaned Rick $2,000 myself when he got out of prison. So, but Rick actually they did a documentary on HBO. Cracking the System. It was called Cracking the System. It actually won an Emmy. And then they did a book called, it was, you know what? I can't remember. I got a couple copies in there where there was like an autobiography. And it was done, it was a biography, half autobiography. He wrote it with the guy who did, I think, Tupac's autobiography as well. And so that we did some work on that. I actually filmed the commercial for the book. I directed and wrote and filmed the commercial for the book, did the music for that and everything else. And done a couple other things with like Rick and these guys as well. But that movie got backlined, but if you look into it, if you actually go and look into it, Jamie Foxx was in talks to play that character. He actually talked about it on a couple of talk shows. Nick Cannon was in talks to play that character. But I'll tell you what, from as far as the production crew was was concerned, like the name that was being thrown around the most to play Rick was Columbus Short, and I'm not sure if you know who he is, but
I don't.
He was so good, dude, and I thought he would have been a great choice for Rick, but anyway, no, that's how I kind of got into film and television, and that's kind of the story about me working with Rick Ross and them.
I wondered what movie it was, bro, because I remember you telling. I got a pretty good memory, and I remember you telling me about that. And then I was on the lookout, and I feel like I was doing as much due diligence as I could to see it. But I know there's a lot of stuff out there on Rick Ross. There's not like a lack of content that's been produced about him, or people at least just talking about him. But the movie you're saying was an actual movie, like my favorite movie, Blow, for sure. I mean, one of the best movies ever, right? So it was going to be a movie like that, about Rick Ross.
Fuck yeah, dude. And it's still on the table. I mean, I don't know if Nick's script is the one that will get made, although I'll tell you, I read it and it's...
How much was it like a crazy high budget movie? I mean, because I'd imagine if we're talking like Blow.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, because of who you're going to be getting to tell the story. You're going to be getting the best production crew and the best on-screen talent for that. Let me remind you, Jamie Foxx, Nick Cannon, and Columbus Short, and other names, like other huge names, were in talks and talked about this on like fucking Jimmy Fallon and like Jimmy Kimmel and like Arsenio Hall and shit like that. Like they were on these shows talking about wanting to play Rick and play this character. So, but this movie never got made yet. As far, I mean, but that
And I
doesn't mean it
wonder.
won't get made. Shit gets sidelined all the time. It just gets picked back up by another production company 10 years later. You know, and that's about how long ago this was with Rick, and maybe 7 years ago or so that I read this script. You know, oh, actually, it was longer than that because I've been
It was
there was a
way
time we
longer,
lived in my
man,
old
because
house.
I haven't really been. That was at least 10 years ago because it was around the time when I put out like a
It was.
project, and
I
that
was living in my old
project
house.
was over 10 years ago.
Yep.
But that's crazy, man. And it sucks because if it is like a super high budget movie, it seems like none are really even getting made. It's like, what's the point? I don't know how theaters are doing anymore, or how it really worked like the VOD style for the studios, but hopefully it gets made sooner than later, man. Or
I'd love to see it get made. Like I said, it was one of the best scripts I've ever read in my life. There's been only like a handful of scripts that I've ever read that was just like, fuck, wow, this is amazing. Like, this has to be, like, even with the most feeble attempt at this script, this movie will be amazing because of the story. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, you're absolutely right. That script needs to be made at some point. You know, it'd be really fucking cool to see that movie get made. You know, but you're right about making money with movies nowadays. It's almost impossible unless you're a huge blockbuster company that's going to be making this huge thing to put out, or you're going to be making, and unless you're like calculating to make 500 million to $1 billion on a blockbuster film, it's almost not worth it to make something where you're putting in multiple $1 million anymore, because you can't put a movie out like that and go to film festival and sell it for the same thing. There's this story about happened recently. There was this movie that came out with Joseph Fiennes and Ed Harris a couple years ago. It was called like Phantom something. It was a submarine movie. They made that movie for like $2.7 million, and as far as I know, in their sales, it was only like $800,000. So they literally lost like 2/3 of what the budget was. But if you can do something along the lines of like what Paranormal Activity did, which was like spend like 19 grand, get some people, you know, there's a ton of actors out there who will work for like 10 grand and do a full movie. A lot of them, like seriously, a lot of them. You can if you go low budget but do it well and tell a good story for under $100,000, chances are you're going to make a lot more money. Chances are you can make a lot more money on sales and stuff. You don't have to make much back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so out of curiosity, like if you put 100 grand, are you talking like a studio release or are you talking an independent release?
Yeah. So like for like okay, for instance, like Lifetime, they do a thing for like 150,000 in, and then they come out at like like they know they're going to sell it at like 350, but they make that film for $150,000. And
So
they so 100% no, they're gonna make it for 150. So the very first movie that I did, the movie was called Dysfunctional Friends, with Terrell Owens and Stacey Dash and Megan Good, and you know all those people I told you I did the movie for. That movie, he paid 200 and around 208, as far as I remember, 285 grand to make the movie. But before they turned the cameras on, they had the actors, they had the production crew, and they sold the movie. They sold the fucking rights to the entire movie for $800,000 before they turned the cameras on. So they didn't make $20 million on this movie. They didn't hope that it was going to go and sell at all these theaters and stuff. No, no, no. They sold it to a sales house or to a distributor for 4 times of what they put into the movie before they even turn the cameras on. That is the way to make money on a movie. You get a good script, you align some actors, you get some actors, to sign a letter of intent to, to do it. You have them take a down payment, you attach them, you get a couple, PR things in some places, and then you approach some distribution companies before you even make the movie, and you say, hey, what would you buy this for? We're making it right now. It's in production right now.
I wonder if that even exists anymore, bro.
I don't think it. I don't know. As far as maybe
That sounds like
makers are thinking that way, but I don't think there's no big budget people thinking that way. There's nobody trying to make movies that way anymore right now. Bro, I didn't go to
not,
film school. I did guerrilla shit, dude. I wrote my own stuff. I asked friends of mine who were like assistant directors on like TNT shit and like TBS shit, like to come and do this stuff. Like and they helped. They came in, they directed some of my stuff, and I watched them like a hawk. And I said, "What the fuck is this guy doing? I'm gonna fucking do exactly that same thing." You know what I mean? I just started directing shit and just doing all kinds of shit, bro. I just jumped into that fucking business, bro. Like it wasn't nothing. Dude. I just was like, I'll fucking write music, I'll act, I'll whatever it is.
Hell yeah, dude. So not to cut it off, but we got someone asking, Eddie, don't you have a new album coming out soon?
I do. So I do have a new album coming out soon, and its working title is The Reason. Although I have been thinking about changing that title to I Think I Wrote the Wrong Song. I know
There you go, dude.
it's a little clunky, but yeah. So not sure if you were able to pull up some of the content from that album, but I have 2 tunes on my channel that I did live. One's called Calico, and the other one's called Even in the Day. This is very very mellow. It's like very melancholy and chill, and yeah. So it's
Oh, yeah.
I've put out different albums, everything from hard rock to punk rock to hip hop to you know harder stuff. But yeah, if you want to if you just want to show them, that'd be cool.
Let's do it, man. And no, dude, that was a dope story, man. I like the fact that, and like you said, you have to just take whatever position is available in the industry that you want to get into. It's like you could sit in front of your computer rapping all day in a room, but what? Someone's going to have to bust through the door, hear it, like it, happen to be connected, want to help you out. It's like just go somewhere and perform your music, put
Yeah,
yourself in an arena
dog.
where people in that arena also are going to be, and just try to network yourself,
That's
like.
absolutely right. And find the people who are where you are. Like if you got artists in your area who are doing what you want to do and selling how you want to sell and have YouTube channels like you want to have, like good, you talk to them and you figure it out. You make friends with these people and you figure out what they're doing and ask them the road they took to get to where they are. Don't pay the fucking dummy tax. Don't assume that you have to go through your own trials and tribulations to get somewhere. Now, fuck that, dude. Find someone who's already there and ask them, how'd you get here? Can I take that road too? How could you help me take that road? You know what I'm saying? Ask them to make you an investment of theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. Nothing wrong with having a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with finding some people who are already where you are and where you want to be and asking them how to get there. You know what I mean? Networking is huge, bro. Networking the right way is fucking invaluable, bro.
I mean, yes, I
I
definitely
didn't get
agree.
to where I didn't get to do these movies. I didn't get started in film because I'm the best songwriter in the world. Let's just put it that way. It's not because I mean, yes, my art spoke for itself and I had to swim once I got put in the arena. You know what I'm saying? I had to perform, period, or else they're not going to use my shit. I'm not going to get hired for more jobs. You know what I'm saying? I had to actually perform once I got put in the arena. But you have to fucking get there somehow.
This is true. You got to jump in the pool to get wet, bro.
That's right, bro. That's right, dude.
Simple as that. You ain't in the pool, you ain't swimming. So let's go ahead and do this. So we have, let me find the actual link it's on. Where we at here? So what we're gonna do here is
Oh,
we
there's
are
Calico
going
right there at the
to,
top.
if I'm able to find it, where the hell is this link? Let me see here.
Well,
Dude, I got like 50 million links going on. I apologize, guys.
all right, I feel you.
It's like a lottery here, dude. If I can catch it, let me see. Where is it?
Tara, you like the second title better? The I Think I Wrote the Wrong Song? Yeah, I think I like that title better too. Just lit up a joint. Shit, I should do the same thing. I have this new series coming out where I'm going to be doing golf. It's called Punk and Putt. I'm going to put like punk rock music behind golf. That'd be fun.
You should do it, bro.
Yeah, no, it's coming out on Friday. My first one releases Friday morning at 10 a.m. It's front 9 at Big Rec.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right, I'm just letting this ad get through here, and then we'll go ahead and plug it on in. All right. 1 second. That's funny. Someone actually, I posted before we play this, I posted on Instagram if anyone had like a question for you,
Mm-hmm.
anything personal. And one of the questions, let me see if there's any more that have acclimated here. But like the first one is, do you smoke weed?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, I do. Yes.
all right. Do you like eggs, scrambled or boiled? Only one answer is acceptable. I,
Fucking, if you put a boiled egg in front of me, you're no longer my friend. How's that? But
I
I'll eat a
love.
scrambled egg all day long.
I'm the opposite, man. I fuck heavy with some hard boiled. I like a convenient snack, dude. You know, it's like if you could hard boil a pizza, dude, I'll eat a hard boiled pizza. You know, and a little
Yeah, I'd
egg
like a
form.
convenient snack, but as long as it doesn't smell like it came out of somebody's asshole.
I guess I was kind of dumb. Like pizza is a pretty convenient snack already. We don't have to hard boil it. All right, I'm just gonna do that. I'm a fire shot at you real quick. What's your favorite go to snack?
My favorite go-to snack, fucking sunflower seeds right now at the moment.
Not a question, but can you make? Okay, I'm not gonna read that. That's a long format one. Let's see here. Will you written any lyrics to the punk track I sent you, dog?
Oh,
Just so you know, let me just. That's
wait, is that Mario from A Growing Menace? Who is that?
This is Rob. Let me see here. He's
Rob
followed by you,
Wheeler?
Rob Wheeler.
Rob Wheeler, yeah.
Wow, hey,
Hey,
he
Rob,
made the question to you, dog. That was good.
you know, it's funny. Rob actually hit me right before the show. Actually, right before we came on, Rob texted me and goes,
funny.
"Bro," he goes, "Roxy loves that podcast, bro." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "I'll hook you up." Actually, dude, you really should think about doing an interview with Rob, man. He's like an extremely talented, multifaceted musician as well. He's a producer. He writes and records his own shit, and he does, and he plays in like multiple bands such as like Rebel Shakedown and Weapon X, and like some like fairly big bands actually. So. Yeah, so
Hell yeah, dude. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's really cool to like have somebody like hit you up and be like, "Oh, I'm a fan of that podcast you're about to be on tonight, dude." I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, dude, that's cool as shit."
Fuck yeah, dude. But yeah, man. So that was pretty much it, dude. But I'm
Yeah, Rob,
glad
I
that
got
like
you,
we
bro.
were able to do
I'll write
that,
the
bro.
lyrics.
I'm glad that
Hey,
Rob was able to connect with you through this, dude. You know?
hell yeah. Hey, Rob, resend to the song, buddy. Resend to the song.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead now. We're gonna listen to Calico. Actually, when you said the two songs you said you wanted to play, I bet you anything, bro. We looked through this shit. Let me see here.
You can play anything you want, bro. I got a
I
ton
know.
of stuff on there.
I want to play it, bro. But look, see that, man? 6 months ago, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys can
Look
see
at
that.
you.
Look at that, bro. I love this song.
Oh,
All
I'm
right,
glad
guys.
you like that song, bro.
Hey, man, I'm glad you made it, dude. So let's go ahead and mute us, and I'm gonna go ahead and play Calico. So
Sounds good.
everybody in the live, this is gonna be Calico by Eddie Booz off the new album that's gonna be releasing, titled TBD. You know what I'm saying? At the moment, but
Indeed.
My door is wide. We're love, we're love, we're love. My door leads straight to what's and you found on me. Know that it could be this way for me. Singing you the songs while you smile so sweetly back at me. Know that it could be this way for me. Listen to the birds go tweet, tweet, tweet. My heart is strong and it's feeling those eyes. My heart, it sings that I give on me. Know that it could be this way for me. Listen to the songs of the GDB. Driving on the way to Calico mines, we will go. Know that it sang harmonies. My life, it listens well, and you captivated me. Know that it could be this way for me. Singing you the songs while you sing those sweet, sweet harmonies. Know that it could be this way for me. Listen to the birds go tweet, tweet, tweet. Know that it could be this way for me. Listen to the songs of the GDB. Know that it could be this way for me. Driving all the way to Calico mines, we will go. Know that it could be this way for me. Know that it could be this way for me.
Hi. Just so you know, those timing issues on the song that you heard were not me. If you go and watch the actual video, you will see that the timing issues were the like the internet connection.
What was the issues? I mean, I was watching, but I'm listening, but I wasn't watching as much. Was it more of a visual thing?
No, I don't know. Like it happened with the audio, like where the audio like tried to catch up like once or twice, like with where like it like glitched. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
we're
bro.
watching a YouTube video through like a third party service. So you know what I mean? Like
I mean, bro, this is like
an
in the
interesting thing.
inception of consuming content right now. So let's see here.
Yeah, so this album is very, very much like that. By the way, I'm watching myself right now with that gray beard. Is like, whoa, dude! Like, I look
How
way.
how
It
long
totally ages me, bro.
how long you been getting gray hairs in the beard, bro? Because I feel like a few years now, but it was like I'd see one and it'd be creeping on me, and I'd be oh shit, you know. And then it'd be like there'd be month periods possibly before the next gray hair sighting. But now it's like fuck it, man. What am I gonna do? Like when I'm
Bro,
cutting my hair, there's gray in there, bro. You know
it's
what I mean?
nuts, dude. I started seeing it in my mid 30s, like around like 35. And like I had this, I'll tell you, dude, like I had this unfortunate falling out with a friend, with a really good friend of mine at the time. And I tell you what, that was so emotionally like impacting that I went gray like that. Like after that, like I went gray really, really, really quick. And then uh I had a relationship that didn't work out, and a lot of the songs from this album, actually, the whole album is like really about a lot of the time that I spent, in this relationship, from the beginning all the way through to the end, And when that relationship ended, I was fully invested in that. When that ended, I was not in a great place. You know what I mean? So that also made my hair gray as well, very, very quickly. My beard just fully like got gray. Oh, it's worse. Like that video you saw, I still actually have some brown in it. Like if I grew my shit out right now, I'd look like Santa Claus. You know what I mean? Like pretty much. I look like Santa Claus with a fucking brown mustache.
Yeah,
So,
dude. You know, and you know it sucks, man. Like If because what color naturally is your hair? Like black or brown or something?
Dark brown, like what you saw in the
Dark
video
brown?
on top of my head. That's like my natural hair color.
Bro, you could just from men gel it if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like the
I've
thing is,
heard.
I got this stupid ass unique, like just from men gel, it's either gonna make me look like a carrot dude or like a stop sign if I get red.
Right.
I'm
The
gonna have
thing
to
is,
get a
with your hair
chemist.
color though, you're not gonna see the grays until they become really dominant.
Yeah.
You
Then
know
it'll
what
be
I'm saying?
serious.
Yeah.
But it is
So
what it is, man.
so that's good. Erica says first time hearing Eddie and I loved it. Thank you so much, Erica. I really appreciate it.
Hell
And
yeah.
thank you, Tara said the lyrics and melody go together so beautifully. That was one of those songs that just kind of came out of me. There's I've had conversations about this on my podcast before with Crumb, and I feel like the best songs are always you're like a conduit for them. I don't feel like you're like when I write like my best songs, they come out of me. Lyrics and music, they flow right out of me, like almost so fast where I can barely get the words down on paper. Like that's how
No,
fast they come out. And like that was one of those songs that just kind of the words and the music just kind of flew. And
no,
and to its credit, it's simple. It's only a couple chords and
well, dude,
very simple melody.
Tiny, first off, just to know what you were saying, like I'm with you, dude. I actually, if something more recently, as I'm not making music seriously and I'm just having more fun with it than anything, and possibly not even recording all the stuff I'm writing, but if I wasn't able to write a verse to a beat that I heard in like 15 to 20 minutes, I would feel like it wasn't meant to be, and people sometimes they say it's almost like, Jay-Z says I don't write anything, and people take that as like some cocky shit. But like you're saying, it's just everybody has a different process. And I think for me, it's a lot like it is for you. It's like the music just flows and it just feels right. And it feels like it was meant to be. Like if I hear a beat and I don't get an immediate visual representation of the music or something, or some kind of a topic doesn't come into my head, I have a very challenging time. And I'm sure it's different from you because you're writing all of the music. But
no, it's very similar actually. What you said is extremely similar to what I go through. It's like all or nothing, and you feel it or you don't. And if you like you said, like you can't force it. You know what I'm saying? Like if it comes, it comes. But if you sit there, like you said, 15 or 20 minutes, bro, if you sit there and you're like trying to figure something out for that time, you almost just want to like walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not necessarily like, you don't necessarily like kill the beat altogether or throw away the music altogether. Maybe you just take a couple of days away from that beat and that music for a little while. Maybe you come back to it at a certain time and see if something comes out of you then. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I don't necessarily always throw away the whole, throw away the baby with the bathwater. But sometimes I like to come back to it. But sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's feeling like, oh, even the music's kind of convoluted and like I'm trying too hard, to make something out of nothing, So
No,
you're absolutely right. It's very similar.
I'm with you, dude. I remember I did a whole album where the whole concept was I just went to someone's house and they played me beats and we'd record like on the spot. You know what I mean?
Right.
And those are like my best songs. And I wasn't at anyone's house for more than an hour and a half, because they showed me the beats. I write the music that I wanted to. Half of the stuff I put out there never even got released because the other people never finished their verses. It's like a couple days goes by and they're all fucking, it's like, man, that's why we got to get it done today, dude. Because if it doesn't get done today, But another thing I just wanted to note is listening to your music, dude. And it's always been the case, it makes a whole lot of sense that you compose for movies and for TV shows and all of these things, because that's very like atmospheric, or I don't know exactly the kind of music you're composing, but there's like there's this ambiance, there's all these elements I'm sure you have to put into movies, and it seems like you incorporate those things into just the music. Because I don't know why, dude, but when I first heard that song, because on your channel you have covers, you have originals, you got a myriad of amazing stuff going on for everybody.
Thanks, man.
But when I heard that song, I thought, oh, I've heard that before, and it was almost like in a movie or something, or like
familiar to you. You know what? This album was meant to be nostalgic. I want people to hear this album and it remind them of when they were 18 years old. I want them to like, especially people who are like our age. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
didn't make me feel like I was throwing up at a party. I was kidding. That was 18, bro. But no, it's fucking incredible, dude.
Hey, to each their own. You know what I mean? Like, But no, you're absolutely right, dude. Like I actually, and I mean, if you feel like it's another song, if you're like, oh, this guy ripped this off, that's one thing. But if you hear something and you're like, that's familiar in the right way, like it's
Yeah.
natural, like it progresses in a natural way that transitions from part to part, and the melody fits along with the music so right that you go like, wow, that's I heard that before, but because it should sound that way. You know what I mean? That's the way the song should sound. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
again, I think that goes back to like it coming out instead of being written. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
man.
It should
And
be that way.
yeah, and that was the vibe I got because I just had, your videos going and it was kind of a mix. But within 15 seconds, I looked and saw it was original, but it just felt like familiar. It felt like just a vibe, man. I could like visualize something going on in my head, and it
Sure.
just connected some of those, whatever the things in your brain are called. So, on all these notes, I would like to play the second song that you had mentioned, dude.
Sure.
You
Throw
know,
it
we
out
got
there. It's called
we got
Even in
like
the Day. Again, it's in the same vibe as what you just heard, Calico. It's very got a very similar ambiance feel to it. It's funny because like a couple of songs on this album, including the one you're about to hear, when I recorded them for the album, I couldn't use a metronome. And as a musician who's a recording artist yourself, you get in the studio and record. You know how important it is to be able to sing to an exact click, whether it be a beat or a metronome. You know what I'm saying?
I've never personally used a metronome, but
If you
I
use a
don't do
metronome, usually those
I
things
just
carry
I just rap over beats, bro. I don't take it.
but still, your beat is your metronome, is what I'm saying.
Well, there you go. There you
You
go.
don't get in there and throw your tracks down, without the music and then expect them to fit at the end. You know what I'm saying? But when I did this song, even in the day when I recorded it, I had to literally like in my head, like hear the lyrics when I was recording the guitar, turn off the metronome. And because it's a feel, it's a vibe, like it breathes, like you'll see when you play it, it's got a I should have kissed. Oh, what I missed in a time that we just shared. It's like it's up and down, it's pulls and pushes. You know what I mean? So when I started doing it to a metronome, to a click track, it was like it felt so mechanical and forced, and it wasn't like the right. It didn't bring you there where I wanted you to go. You know what I'm saying? Like emotionally, So I had to turn the click off, hear it in my head, press record, and just play.
That's
You
very
know what I
Jay
mean?
Dilla of you, bro.
What's that?
That's very Jay Dilla of you.
Jay Dilla.
Well, no, that was Jay Dilla was notorious for being off, like not off timing necessarily, but having a movement within his beats that couldn't be contained to like what regular. It's like you were saying. There's math and science, and then there's spirituality, and it's like there's more spirituality in music that has all this movement and rhythms, and it's not just like made by fucking AI or something like,
Right.
But not, hey, dude, this is again, I'm sure I got comments on this song too, man. But this is like one of my favorite tracks off the new album. It's called Even in the Day. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on, take us off, we'll mute, and let's check out the track.
I should have kissed, oh what I missed in the time that we just shared. And it got to find that I can't rewind and make that moment count. But even in the day long, and even in the day will shine, and even in the day you will burn as bright as 1,000 fireflies. Even in the day you glow. You could have told me how you feel, but you ran as I held tight. I know what we feel moves me for real, and I love it my whole life. And even in the day you roam, and even in the day you will shine, and even in the day you will flash like fire that's burning in my eyes, even in the day you roam. And I should let go of the time when I was almost out. Just when you pulled, I tried to push, and all the walls came down. But and even in the day you roam, and even in the day you will shine, and even in the day you will radiate in such amazing ways, even in the day you roam, and even in the day you roam.
There you go.
Hell yeah, bro. That shit was incredible.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, bro. So those are just two songs off the new album. I will say that this is a very, very unique vibe for an album. I've never put out an album that sounds like quite this melancholy and chill and like, you know what I mean? Most of my music has been like bluesy, you know, a little bit more upbeat, punk rock, metal, hip hop. You know, I put out a Christmas album. I do have an orchestral album out though.
That's one thing I really dig about you though, bro. Is
You
like
can find all my music on my website, eddiebooz.com. I have 9 different albums for sale in all different genres. And yeah, also too, I do a live stream tomorrow night. I'll be playing and taking requests off a list of 400 songs. Play originals for you guys. I'll play covers for you guys. Whatever you guys want to hear. Go to youtube.com/eddiebooz live for that particular show. But yeah,
that's what I like about you, dude. You do all these genres, and you do them well. You know what I mean?
thanks, man.
There's a lot of people I felt you could tell. Oh, that's cool. He's experimenting with the sound. You know what I mean? Like, like I'm sure Snoop Lion. I'm sure Snoop Lion. That was a one-time deal. Maybe he's done. Whatever the case may be. Not to say it was bad, but dude, everything you do, it sounds like elite level. Like
Thanks,
that genre of music. Like if you like
really
punk,
appreciate
if you
that.
like punk music. I guarantee you're gonna like the punk album that you put out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Thanks,
if you like
man.
whatever genre it is. So
Yeah, and you know what? What's really funny about that is that all comes from like I'd say a lot of that comes from the fact that when I was younger, I didn't really know that I liked music at all. But I was real physical. I did martial arts and baseball and all kinds of sports and things like that. And when I saw my first concert, I was like 16 years old, and I saw the guy. It was Silverchair, and I saw the guy on stage, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, and I looked at the people, and they were all singing his songs back at him, and I was like, that right there. I was like, that's what I'm gonna fucking do. I was like, that is exactly what I'm gonna do. So I, got a guitar and I started playing. But before that, I was like 12 years old or something. But I remember distinctly being able to mimic other people's voices, like singing. Like I could, give my voice a little rasp and make it sound like Michael Bolton. I could sound like Michael Jackson. I was 12 years old, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I remember being able to mimic these things. And then when I got older and I started writing songs and I started playing music, I was able to play all kinds of covers. Like if you go to my stream tomorrow night at 8:00, that list of 400 songs, it's everything. It's classic rock, hip hop, reggae, punk rock, country, bluegrass. Literally every genre of music you can find is on that list. Everything from 1936 through today, the 400 songs on this list. So like playing all this stuff and being very familiar with these songs. And I will say too, like that's another thing is like growing up when we grew up, we didn't have access to so many to like the internet where there was just like countless artists. We got what was on the radio. We got what was on TV. We got what was at the theater. We didn't get a plethora of artists in whatever genre we liked. We got the few songs that were on the radio, and that was it. So people in our generation who got that, especially in the 80s and the early 90s, those people were very uniquely exposed to the best of all genres of music. You know what I'm saying? So when I started writing stuff and then I wanted to do a certain genre, I would listen to what I loved. Listen to Warren G and, you know, the West Coast hip hop, and then like some of the older, like, you know, East Coast stuff, Gangstar and things like that, you know? And I was like, I want my stuff to be to have this vibe and to flow like this. You know what I mean? You don't go out there with like a, you know, a blank slate and never having painted anything before and just throw it out there and expect it to be and expect to get what you want out of it because you don't want anything out of it. You know what I'm saying? So when I went into writing each of these genres, hip hop or punk rock or whatever, I would listen to the bands that I loved in that genre and go, well, yes, I'm going to take the best elements from each things that really touch me, you know, emotionally, and I'm going to bring those out in my music. You know, whether it be certain strum patterns or, you know, certain kind of like rhythmic cadences with my lyrics or whatever it may be. So a lot of that is just me doing my best version of what I love. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate the kind words about that, you know?
No, of course, dude. And then I mean, I feel like this is somewhat breaking news, you know, on the podcast, dude. But Rob Zob,
Mm-hmm.
he just wants to let you know, thanks, brother. That was awesome. He's gonna rescind it, dude. You know what I mean?
For sure, dude. I'm glad, Rob. I'll get it to you. I promise, dude.
Bro, it's been a saga throughout the episode, dog.
Dog, I have 3 songs like that to do. Like, I got a guy who hit me up from the East Coast who was just like, dog, like, let's get a tune. And I said, send me what you got. And he sent me his stuff, and I'm like, bro, you are badass, bro. I'm like, you don't need me to sing on your shit. Your shit's badass. But he wants me to sing on one of his tunes, so I'm gonna do one of his tunes. And then I'm gonna do Rob's. I got you, Rob. And then Growing Menace from Texas too, a dope ass punk band out from Texas. I'm gonna do a track for them too.
Oh yeah, dude. And then it's funny. I was actually trying to find the person, but somebody maybe like a couple months ago, they messaged me and said, "Hey, you got to have Eddie Booze on your podcast," you know. And this was already after you had been on, I believe, at one point.
Nice.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, you know, he was. It was great." He's like, "Yeah, he's such an awesome dude." I was like, "Yeah, you know," I was like, "I don't know if you know, but like, he's a friend of mine." Yeah, but I think she's actually, and it's funny because I couldn't find the name, but it was Jessica, and she's actually in the chat now, so it's cool to see her in the chat.
So Jessica so I'm not sure if you know this, but her parents were my youth pastors.
Oh wow, dude.
Joel and Cheryl Cleveland. Yeah, her parents were my youth pastors when I was about 13, 14, 15, 16 or somewhere around
what church or so was it?
I went to Hope Lutheran in Long Beach, California, on PCH, right there where actually on Clark and PCH, like right across from the 7-Eleven, right by D Piazza's right there.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounded familiar, dude. It sounded familiar.
Yeah. So I've known Jessica since she was little. I've known her brothers.
Oh yeah.
I've known, you know, her parents. So I know her whole family, and very, very great, amazing people. I absolutely love the Cleveland so much.
Oh yeah, dude. So I'm glad to see her in here. I mean,
absolutely good to see you, Jessica.
Oh yeah, dude. So and then from Instagram, man, we had another question. Another question rolled in, dude. Do you believe in the Big Bang Theory really created this Earth, or was it? And I like the way that they made "was it" one word, you know, because I think they had to do that in order to fit it in the thing.
Sure.
So like I'm thinking like, why isn't "was it" just one word all the time, bro? You know, because this looks very convenient. But something without the I, again, I don't think it needs an I. But or was it something else? So was it the Big Bang or was it something else?
I particularly, as far as that goes, am not a believer in the Big Bang Theory. For me, like, it's hard to wrap my brain around the fact that there was nothing, and then all of a sudden, out of nothing came something randomly. I'm a big believer in the idea of what was this before it was a water bottle? Like, what was it? Like, before it was a water bottle, what was it?
Plastic.
Before that, before somebody formed plastic into this, it had to be a thought. Somebody thought this up and then made it. See what I'm saying? And now I'm not saying like that's, oh my God, that's proof. What? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but
Well, no, I mean, I've heard that get thrown out there several times by people that seem to be more intelligent than me. That the idea that nothing exists without the thought, so the fact that something exists means it had to be thought of, and something or someone had to think of it in order for it to be, a thing.
in my opinion, I am a proponent of intelligent design. I feel I'm a Christian. Actually, I believe in God. I believe God created this, the heavens and the earth, But I'm also not sure I believe everything is exactly the same as everyone else does either, because I happen to be a geocentrist. So I actually don't believe that we're on a ball spinning through space. I believe that we're on that we actually don't know exactly. I mean, but as far as the math and the science and the physical evidences go, there's nothing to, in my research that I've done, there's nothing to, um, to show us, to prove there's any movement or curvature, or,
I'm
so from what I've read, I'm a geocentrist, bro. It took me a long time to get there too. It took me months, bro, months to get there, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of at the point where I'm with you. Like, I don't know what the hell, but I also don't care, dude.
Yeah, well,
Like
here's the thing.
I
It
feel like,
consumes
what's the
some people.
point of me caring? Like, what am I going to be the first human being ever to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt? Like, does it change
I feel like it's already
anything?
been proven
Like,
not a reasonable doubt, in my opinion. But why? Yeah, why? Okay, so yeah, like you said, great point. What is it gonna do? What are you gonna do by running around screaming about it? Go live your life, have fun, do the same things you're gonna do, and what does it change your normal life? No, but I do know some people who it's consumed. It's consumed them. Like I will be honest with you. Like when I very first discovered it, and I very first started doing my research, when I very first had my own questions, and I decided that okay, I'm going to disprove this theory because I was pissed. I was fucking pissed as a fucking as a glober, as they would call them, or a heliocentrist. I was mad watching a chat section about flat Earth. Flat Earth. Live stream, and I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, and these people were angry. Like all the flat earthers were like, or geocentrists, as I like to call them, they were like quoting, math, equations, scientific evidence, physical evidences, and everybody on the heliocentric side was saying nothing. All they were saying were, drink bleach, kill yourself. I can't believe you think this way. You're insane, blah, blah, blah. But none of them responded with anything of substance. And it was pissing me off. And I'm like, dude, there's all kinds of proof this world is round. What are you guys doing? Why are you guys not responding to any of this shit, any of these garbage equations and this garbage physical evidences that these guys are stating with your own, with the real shit, So I was like, fuck it, So I was like, I'm gonna debunk this shit myself. But then I realized you realize that to debunk any theory, you have to first understand said theory fully. And once I understood both models, once you look at both models, and then you understand what modern scientists say is true about the globe model, and then you do the math that's supposed to calculate for certain things in this world, it just doesn't match up. I'm not even fucking close. And this whole thing started with the technology caught up with the lie, in my opinion. I think in around 2010, around that era, people were able to the public was able to get like telescopic lenses that like cut out atmospheric refraction and things like that. You could see a lot farther with cameras around that time. The public was starting to buy cameras and they were seeing things fucking much further than they should be able to see something that should be fucking miles over a curve. You know what I mean? That's what started this huge flat earth bullshit. And I'm not sure if you know this, but YouTube has kind of, they have removed a lot of flat earth commentary and labeled it as hate speech too. So it's pretty crazy, dude. But yeah, man, when I first got into it, it was like, I'm going to get this, I'm going to figure it out. And I'm going to fucking prove these idiots wrong. And the more I got into it, the more I studied and the more I understood both models, I was like, but you come to a certain point where you're like, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do about it? Is it going to be this thing that like drives my life, or am I going to go and do the things that I love, and I'm still, it's my fuck. What does it affect you? You know what I'm saying? Like in the long run, what do you know, like you said, you're going to be the first person that convinces the world that it's flat. Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? You just go about it, and you know, although I will say most people I know over the last year have been extremely open to the idea. Whereas when I very first kind of embarked on this, you know, geocentric, you know, thing, nobody wanted to hear it. I was asking questions to every fucking person I knew. Everyone I knew. I knew a science teacher at the time, and I asked her to help me figure some shit. She wouldn't even, she was literally just told me, it's insulting to my core that you would even ask me these questions. Instead of giving me something to work with to prove the fucking lunacy wrong, she just threw her hands up and was like, I can't tell you. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fucking fuck, dude? So I just came to the conclusion that, all right, so I just decided, all right, fuck, I'm a geocentrist, whatever, you know, but you know, I'm not going to try and change anyone else's mind. I'm not going to, you know, I have conversations with people, but I'm not going to try and change nobody's fucking mind. I'm still going to go and live my life, do my thing, have fun, you know, doesn't change nothing in the long run for me.
Yeah.
In fact, for me, actually, it was like, it kind of like made sense. I was like, everything I've been observing my whole life matches more with what I just did my research on than what I've been told. So, you know, I don't
Yeah.
kind of long tangent on there, but yeah, to answer your story, I believe in intelligent design instead of the Big Bang Theory. That was a lot.
Nah, man, you gave us a good, nice, fucking, in-depth answer. But I don't know, man. To me, I just feel like, okay, I think the people that you're asking these, you have done more research and have more poignant things to discuss regarding the flat earth than someone that they don't believe the earth is round. They just never question anything about it, and it just is what it is. It's inherently round. There's no belief system behind it. Like, they haven't even thought, I believe the world is round is a fucking thing that you would ever say, because it's just, I believe water's wet. You know, like
Exactly.
I believe my heart's beating right now. Like, so when you ask them those questions, that's what I usually saw. It was like, man, you realize that, like, a science teacher, they just went to school for a couple fucking years, man. Some of them didn't even remember what they were taught, and now they get a syllabus and they just go off of that. They don't actively, unless they're a professor that has to actively be practicing and like going to class and learning more and furthering and exploring their education, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, bro. Like, I've met a few teachers,
you know, jack shit about their own model. Ask them how fast the world spins. How many miles per hour is the world spinning? What's the degree of axis it's on? How fast do we travel around the sun? How fast did the sun travel through the galaxy? They don't know jack shit. Not one. How far is the moon away from the earth? How far is the sun away from the earth? They couldn't tell you one of those numbers. Not fucking one. Most people, not all, but most people, general public, don't know jack shit about what we're on, but will subscribe to every single thing they're told as if it were scripture. You know, but because think about it, though. I mean, why would you not? Like you said, you believe water's wet, right? Water's wet. You jump into it. You know, you've been told since you were a kid that the Earth is round. Earth is round. You know, all you see on TV is universal, you know, fucking thing. Earth is round. NASA, Earth is round. Earth is round. Earth is round. So you just believe what you're told. There's no reason to go and look into what it is. Once you do your research, it's a whole nother story, though. It's like, wait, what? What? Like, yeah, like I said, the math is just weird.
Yeah, no, I got pretty, I don't know, man, as far as believing it or not, you know,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I don't care enough to even think much about it, but I entertain the idea, you know. I don't think the idea is crazy. Just as, like you said, the Big Bang, you know, like people said, oh man, it sounds crazy that like God created everything. I was like, yeah, dude, it seems logical that two atoms that in a space of nothing that's collided in everything now is infinite, and like,
what atom when there's nothing?
It all sounds crazy. It's like life is crazy, but find the crazy that works for you. For me personally, the crazy more sense to me is it was a thought that
works for me. Geocentrism, the cat kind of crazy.
Yeah, dude, but I will say there is, I guess, in either side of the camp, and that might be the problem. There's a lot of crazy people in the world, and I feel like you don't get labeled as being crazy for walking around if you were like, the earth is round, the earth is round, like people be
Of
like,
course not.
okay, dude, maybe there's a little something going on there, but like he's enthusiastic,
Yeah.
like the earth is round. But people go out there, the earth is flat, and then they yell at people, and it's almost like the
Well,
people that stand on corners and fucking
I was
yell
gonna say, why are you
Satan,
browbeating anybody?
Satan, and all this stuff. It's like I think the publicized flat Earth aspect got put out there and kind of gave people a certain taste, But it's a very interesting theory to look into, just because of where you have to go along on the journey to get to any point of. Because once you get sucked in a little bit, it's hard to not care. You at least got to keep moving with it, and then the further you get, it's like, oh wow, like I don't know, and it kind of tethers you out of reality for a second, and then you kind of figure out where you want to go from there. But
yeah, if you have a curious mindset in general and you look into it and you want your own understanding of either model, once you start looking, that garners more looking, you know.
yeah, so well, let me see. I think that might have been the last one, but fuck, dude, what was I just thinking right now? We're talking. I don't know. How about this? So, is there any other? Just because people like to hear about conspiracy theories, and I'm saying maybe we got like another like 10 minutes or so. What is a conspiracy theory that you find yourself believing, and that you think people are crazy for thinking that it's not matter of fact, as if it's presented in the conspiracy, or I say conspiracy because that's what people call them, but me and a lot of it is the truth, right? What's your favorite?
Oh, dude, I don't know, bro. They're like,
And
I don't know, dude. There's so many conspiracy theories that I feel are, well, here's the thing. Like, there's so many conspiracy theories that have been conspiracy theories, like throughout our lives, that have been proven true over a certain amount of time. So, I feel like a lot of this stuff that is like, I feel like a lot of like the easy stuff that's like labeled as conspiracy theories, like not necessarily conspiracy theories, but as far as like traditional conspiracy theories go,
do you think we went to the moon in 1969, bro?
fuck no.
Do you think we've ever been to the moon?
No.
Do you think we've ever been outer space?
100,000% not.
So do you think it's possible to go into outer space?
I don't know. I don't claim to know. See, that's the thing. I don't know. So, I just don't know. And I don't necessarily, I believe that we are, let's just put it this way. I do believe in some sort of extraterrestrials. I don't know if there's a firmament up there, if there's a dome that covers, or if there is space and all these things are planned. I don't know because I've never seen it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't believe that we've been to the moon as far as they've told us. Let me ask you a question. So, audio and video technology have gotten infinitely better over the last 20, 30 years. So if they were true, and I very rarely hear this point made or this question asked, if they went to the moon in 1965 for the first time, I think it was 1965, right? The first year they went, or 1968,
Something like that.
Something like that in the 60s, right? So it was in the mid to late 60s, they went to the moon, supposedly. They were live streaming audio and video from the moon with a 6-minute delay directly back to Times Square. It was being watched live. It was being listened to live by people standing in Times Square with a 6-minute delay from 238,000 fucking miles away, when you can't get a cell phone signal a mile off the highway when you're in Arizona. So you're telling me that 250,000 miles away, we get perfect video and audio transmission from there. Yet today, NASA sends us once a year, we get a picture of a perfectly sphere Earth from within the thermosphere. So this camera that they send it to us is within the thermosphere of the whole Earth. That's within 1% of that distance. And we get it in strands of data. You can go look this up on YouTube. You can listen to the guy who does this. We get that in strands of data, and he has to Photoshop it together. They can't even send an actual still image from a camera that's 1% of the way to the moon in 2022. Yet in 1965, I'm supposed to believe they were live streaming a video and an audio feed that was unfucking touched, as far as that goes, straight to Earth from 250,000 miles away. That's bonkers to me. So I don't believe we went to the moon at all. And just really, to be honest with you, like, my opinion is based on that one. It's based on the audio video technology. I'm like, it's fucking impossible. It's literally impossible for them to have done 60 fucking years ago.
See, I'm under a different belief. If someone asks me, okay, it looks like I'm crying. No, I'm not crying. I'm
I know.
sweating a little bit. I turn the air off. I turn the air off in here because it's loud. But see, I'm under a different belief. I think we've gone to the moon. I think we could travel to the moon in a millisecond if we really wanted to. You know, I think
Okay.
the technology is out there. I think the technology has been out there for forever. Like, I don't believe that we're as smart as human beings have ever been right now.
Oh
You know,
hell no, dude!
I
Ancient civilizations have been way more
you
intelligent.
know, like until we figure out a pyramid, like I don't think that we're as smart as anything because we've made everything so complicated. And in order to achieve anything, you need to go through some sort of industry protocol, or you have to go. There's tools made for anything. I don't know how to explain the thought that I'm having, but they don't want you just using sustainable resources, right? You know,
Of
like
course.
there's industries built around you creating anything at this point. And I think before we got so wrapped up on trying to create new things, the present or whatever was existent in you know the universe was being utilized. And then all of a sudden people thought, you know, just like bottled water. It's like, hey, wait, we could sell water if we really want to. We could put it in a bottle and probably charge people like $1. And Nestle pays what, $250 a year for infinite water out of somewhere in Michigan, you know, but it's like anything they can charge you for, they will. So I think you knowing how infinite your ability is in this universe because you're tied so deeply into it, like they gotta clog that up and they gotta sell you their idea of what the dream is and not what the actuality of it is, you know. Because I think
Absolutely right.
we could probably go to we probably gone to I think in the 60s it was really just because of the Cold War, right? Wasn't that so we look cooler than Russia or some shit? Or I care enough to not know anything, I guess, but like
Well, let me ask you
it was
this.
a space race. It wasn't just like, you know, this is the best we've ever done and we're going. It was a space race.
So let me ask you this. So do you believe the moon is 238,000 miles away?
I mean, I don't know how far away it is necessarily. I don't think
Okay.
about it, you know, but like I think
But you
there's
believe we can
something
get
out
there.
there.
You
There's
believe that
something
we
out
have the
there.
technology to get there today.
Do I think we have the technology to get there today? I think it exists. I don't know if me or you could draw a picture of it based off
Not
what we've
necessarily me
seen.
or you, but like the government or like SpaceX or whatever. You think they could go to the moon today?
I don't even know about SpaceX, dude.
So you know what?
SpaceX could be what they want the general public to know about. I'm back.
So do you know why NASA claims that we haven't been back to the moon since the 70s? They claim that we haven't been back there because we've lost the telemetry data that we used to get there. That's their literal reason for that. I guess I'm hosting the show now, you guys. What's going on? Now I'm sure we'll get Jared back.
Damn it! Can you hear me at least?
Yeah, I can
Can you
hear
hear
you,
me?
bro.
Dude, I'm
your
having some.
video's frozen, but yeah, I can hear you, dude.
Dude, just a second here. I
No, no,
got.
you're good,
I
dude.
fucking
Take
moved
your
my
time.
arm, dude. I'm swinging cables out, bro. It's all good.
You're good, bro.
We got a couple minutes. Let's see if I can use this shitty ass other camera, not my high tech one, and it'll work. Let's see. Yeah, dude, there I am. Cool.
Yeah. Using your computer cam. It don't look too much different. It's not super grainy.
I'm going old school, bro.
It's all good, dude.
See, look at the difference in technology, man. This ain't cost me like $50, you know, that makes me look 10 times better. But as far as I think we were talking about before
Well, I
the
was just
whole
wondering because you said that you think we have the technology to get to the moon, and I was wondering if you thought that we were that far away, or if you thought the moon was closer. Like geocentrists believe the moon is far closer. So when you said, "Oh, we've been to the moon," well, maybe that's true, but maybe the moon isn't 238,000 miles away. I don't know. Maybe it is, though. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it is, and maybe we did go there in the 60s. Maybe we went there for 5-7 years, and then we came back and we said, we lost some telemetry data that we can't get there anymore," and then we never went back. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we did. You know, I don't know. I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But it's harder for me to believe that with, you know, like I said, with, you know, just basic understanding of like video and audio transmission. You know what I mean? And then also certain things, you know, as well, you know, do my own research. But I get you, brother. I mean, that's interesting that you believe that we had a space race and that we actually went to the moon. Interesting.
I don't no. I don't think they went to the moon in the 1960s. What I'm saying is I think Stanley Kubrick filmed it, you know.
Oh.
I'm in that camp. What
Oh
I'm
yeah, yeah,
getting
yeah.
at, main
I'm
point
right there with you.
to zoom out, I'm saying I don't think they went to the moon then. I think they've been going to the moon for thousands and thousands of years. It was just at that
Oh, on a
because
macro, ancient civilizations.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
I
Because
see.
dude,
I'm
because
sorry.
the
I completely
media,
misunderstood you, bro.
no, it's all good. Because the
And, you know,
media,
I
the
actually agree with you.
governments,
I actually
the
agree with you. But I never thought about that until just now. That ancient civilizations had our own means of traveling, of like interstellar travel, instead of just being helped by other civilizations. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that ancient alien theory always led me to believe that like it was other civilizations that came here and got us off the ground, not us ourselves and our own understanding of the cosmos and technology. And like you said, like the spiritual energy and like certain, like energies, magnetic energies that just exist and things like that. I never ever considered that ancient technologies had the capability to go travel the cosmos. Actually, that was an interesting. I don't know why that never dawned on me before, and I always, for some reason, like did think that that happened, but I would always think like, oh, maybe like ancient aliens came and took them places, but I never really thought of them creating their own ways to do that.
yeah, but that's the whole thing. Like, what if there wasn't cavemen that were like, full blown idiots? What if man started as something far more complex, but then like that's why it's hard because I feel like we probably were much more like it's a theory maybe that I just like more in my head right now in the moment, right? But I think we were far more
It's a good
intelligent
thought.
until there was a superior group of people who thought we can control the rest of these because at one point there was only 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people on the planet. It hasn't always been like 7 billion. So it was a lot easier to control the planet when it was less people.
Right.
And that's people always ask, like, when you bring up the Illuminati or you bring up secret societies or these Freemasons, I don't believe Freemasons bad at all. I think actually you can do it if you want. But as far as like the Illuminati, I feel like that's all about world control. I think whatever information was used to control those 50,000 people in the very beginning, like there was an agenda set out a long time ago. I don't know how many the cycle has repeated, but that's what I feel like kind of we're in right now. Like, and why I say I feel like we've had the technology. I think maybe when we started off this planet, we were able to use our consciousness, and it was like an extraterrestrial way of communication with everything. We're like satellites. Our brain is like a satellite that transmits from all these other places. And then just over time, we become more and more like, have you heard of like the pineal gland, for instance, and how everything these days crustifies your pineal gland. But if you smoke DMT and it just opens that motherfucker up in a heartbeat, you explore the whole universe in a millisecond.
Yeah. Have you
Like
tried DMT?
yeah, like pretty big blast offs. But what I'm getting at is like the physical reality that we're in is just an illusion, you know? Like time and space are the only things that allow you to perceive the reality that you're in. If time didn't exist, nothing, and there wasn't a space for you to be in, you would just be everywhere all at once. And
Sure.
you would have it would be more of an internal journey than a physical journey. The only place you have would be internal if time and space didn't exist. But that's why when I tried it, man, it was like a universal truth, speaking to God type stuff. And I've talked to people who they got pulled out of their body and they went searching through the galaxies and the Milky Ways and all these things. And it's like a very real experience. It doesn't feel fake. It only feels fake based on the reality that you believe is real.
It's very
You
trippy,
know,
and I can attest to that. I agree. It feel like it lifts a veil. I feel like
it does.
it feel like that you're seeing I feel like you finally are like pulling the curtain back. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you for sure.
Yeah, dude. And it's like I would love to see somebody that actually I've heard many people who are atheists that use DMT. I want to say shit. Was it Neil Brennan? Somebody that was on Joe Rogan. It could have been years ago. I just saw the clip.
I think
But
you're right about that.
I
Actually, I
think it was the
saw
dude
that.
that wrote for the Chappelle show with Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
But he was an atheist and he smoked DMT. And he's like, well, there's no way I'm an atheist after that. It's like so fucking profound.
Exact
And it's
same thing
just
with my
this.
buddy.
It's like this physical experience we're having is just meant to be like we're not people having a spiritual awakening, we're spirits having a physical
Physical,
awakening,
correct.
or experience, whatever the term
Yep.
is. But that's why, like, when we talk about the earth and what shape it is and all the technology and this and that and that and whatever, it's like, do you know how complicated human beings have made this fucking experience? Like,
Right.
because I believe that someone, God created it. Now, who created God and who created the God that created God? And how many gods are there? I don't know ultimately, but I don't care because I'm only in the one experience, and in my experience, there's one God. And for me, it seems pretty apparent that I need to eat. So food grows everywhere. If I even want to eat meat, there's animals that I could eat if I wanted to that are pretty abundant. We need oxygen. So there's air. We need shelter. So there's natural resources we can use to build shelter. There's, indigenous people that could show us how to do that properly. It's just once someone figured out I could charge somebody for that, it was a fucking wrap, dude. Then it was like, whoa, 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 that guy's making money over there. That guy has a lot more than me right now. Like, what can I do to get more than him? And then industries develop and then people sell shit to each other. Like, it's all crazy. But I think when we first started this experience, there was no crustification on our pineal gland. And it was probably just a situation where you can go into deep meditation at the drop of a dime if you wanted and explore anywhere at any point in time if you wanted to. But that was a long rant about a whole lot of nothing possibly. But that's kind of where I'm at, man. When people say,
I love it.
life is complicated, it's like, no, it's not. We made it complicated. Look at animals. Animals laugh at us. So, oh, look how smart they are. They stress out all day. Look how smart. Look how
Exactly.
dumb I am. I lay around and enjoy the sun. Like,
Right.
look at a lizard. They're probably living their best life, dude. And it's like we're over here stressing every second. Obviously, you found a point in life where you have passions that drive you and all this stuff. But there's a lot of people struggling, dude. And it's like, fuck, man. It's just this system that we've created for ourselves to exist in. I think Jim Carrey actually talks about it, how so many people are depressed because this isn't the system we were created to be in. It's like so far away from it that
Absolutely right.
unless you're willing to subscribe, you just feel lost. But
So
I don't
out
know.
of touch with self, dude. There's so little self-awareness left. There's so little self-care. So like giving yourself some time, dude. Like, and I mean like time to yourself. I don't mean like hang out like by yourself and like get on your phone and shit. You know what I mean? Like just unplug for a little bit,
It's
just
the best,
unplug,
bro.
just take your shoes off, walk around in the on the grass, do some shit that just like helps you recenter, that helps you realign yourself. So few people do even those small little things for even the small amount of time. And like you were saying, like civilizations past, you know, I mean, maybe they were more in touch with that. Maybe they were more in touch with self. Maybe they're more in touch with self awareness and like this, like you said, the spiritual experience and the energetic experience and just kind of being in tune with the world, in tune with your environment, being able to, like you said, at the drop of a hat, be, in a meditative experience and doing, experiencing some sort of enlightenment that want to experience instead of this weird, like you said, this weird man-made structure of like sell and buy and consumer and and like that's you know what I mean, like that's like your life is based on that, like you better make enough to buy you know
Yeah, I think it was Fat Mike from NoFX who I'm sure you're familiar with Fat Mike, right? From
Sure.
NoFX. So he talked about how he found happiness when he realized the goal is just to be happy and find peace and do what you want,
Right.
as opposed to chasing money. He's like, because if you chase money, you just want to become rich, they're never going to stop printing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like there's never going to be a point where you have as much money as you feel like you need to be happy. But if you find things that just truly make you a happy person and you find peace in them, you don't need an excess amount of currency to maintain a situation. It's fun,
Absolutely.
but like if you just constantly are thinking about the money, you're just passing everything else by. But
Exactly. And if that's your why, it's a pretty shitty why. You know what I mean? If that's your reason, if money is your reason. Now, I understand wanting, to be financially stable and wanting to make a good amount of money. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting, to be rich, wanting to be wealthy, but, you know, I don't know. A lot of people look at that as like a bad thing, but I will say this: there's no substitute for making decisions on a regular basis that keep you fulfilled. And happiness is not this thing. I think it's not like this thing that can be is perpetual state. You can just it's not like you're going to stay in a perpetual state of happiness. Life happens, things happen, things surrounding you, external circumstances happen, people get sick, there's whatever it may be that affects your life. But when you make small decisions every single day to hold yourself accountable, to have some self-control, do the things to further yourself towards your goals, and pretty much, like I said, just make these decisions every day that keep you fulfilled. Every little decision that you make that's going to help your life feel more fulfilled leads you to more moments of happiness, and they get longer in duration and they get more frequent. So you creating yourself more fulfillment, more happiness when you have to make those decisions, though. And you got to be conscious about it too. Like, you got to take stock at the end of the day. Look back what you did at the end of every fucking day, not at the end of every year, not on New Year's Eve, every day. Look back at the end of what you did and literally say, I did that was good. I really did that today. And then reward yourself. Do something you want to do. I mean, keep yourself motivated by identifying the small wins and and celebrating the small wins, see, your daily wins, your weekly wins, things like that. Don't just get focused on the fucking long term. Oh, I'll only be happy when I'm here, when I get this job, or when I'm with this person, or when I finally, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to acknowledge and identify each small little thing that helps you put yourself further and further towards those goals. And that helps build momentum. That helps remind you, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, that keeps that thing in your sights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, dude. But again, every day is very important. Every day is a mini lifetime. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, dude. And if we started thinking about, yeah, exactly. If we started thinking about like our goals and the things that make us happy and fulfillment if we stop thinking about it as a marathon, at someday we'll get there, and started thinking about it as a sprint every day to make as much headway as we can that day, whether that's to get the best job you want, or to be living in the home you want, or the place you want, or to be around the people you want to be around, or whatever it may be. Even if it's material things, if it's money, you want to be wealthy, and you want to be comfortable. If we work towards those things every day, even with and just being happy, if we want to be fulfilled and we work towards making those small decisions, if we actually do that every single day, instead of just, oh, well, I'll do it in time, I'll do it over a long amount of time, it's a marathon to get there, and we make it a daily sprint every day, chances are we'll get there far faster.
This is true, man. Pro tip, life hack, just fucking do it already. You know what I mean?
Fucking right, dude.
Why not? That's always the question. Why not? Ask yourself why not.
Yeah,
and if the answer doesn't make sense, just do it. But dude, it was a pleasure hanging out with you, bro.
Thank you so much for having me, brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate you hanging out with me and asking some questions about my musical journey, man. That was really cool. Thank you.
Nah, dude. Let's do it again, bro. Let's do it again. And just for everybody out there. So tonight we watched a couple videos. We watched Calico as well as Even in the Day. Those were live renditions that he performed. But if you would like to see Eddie Boo's live, which I highly recommend, it's an experience unto itself. And as he said, he actually has a catalog of music with over 400 songs spanning across all genres. He is the human jukebox. This is what Eddie does. He's incredible at it. Make sure you check out his channel, subscribe. I actually put a link in this video before it even went live, and it'll be on the video as it continues to be up on YouTube and all that good stuff. But check that out tomorrow. Are you still doing the radio stuff, right? You're still doing the radio program?
I do. I got a couple things coming out. So tomorrow at 7, I have a show that comes on every Thursday at 7. It's called Our Radio. And it's on my main channel. I have 2 YouTube channels. It's on my main channels, youtube.com/Eddie Booz. And that's about an hour. And what I do is I just play unexposed artists in all genres. So unsigned acts, in punk rock, fucking jazz, fucking R&B, hip hop, all different genres. And I just take unsigned artists and I do a little radio show once a week at 7 o'clock. And right after that, at 8 o'clock, I do a live stream performance on my Eddie Booz Live channel. So it's the youtube.com/Eddie Booz Live. It's the different channel. So that'll be on at 8 o'clock right after that. And that's where I take requests. I hang out for a couple hours, play a bunch of music. We have a bunch of fun. And then on Friday morning at 10 o'clock, I have a brand new series airing on my main channel. If you guys like golf, if any of you guys like golf, you will see I have a brand new, if you subscribe to the channel, I have a brand new series coming out called Pumpkin Putt, where I'm going to be doing like some golf and putting some punk rock to, behind the videos and stuff like that. And like, showcasing some music as well. And then I'm also going to be doing some golfing with some people from, with some of the guys from some of the punk bands that you guys have heard of growing up. Hopefully I'll be able to get Clinton on there from DI and a couple other people as well. I got Rob from Carpet's going to be doing one with me pretty soon. This band right here. So Pumpkin Putt comes out Friday at 10 for first episode. I got all kinds of stuff on my channels and stuff like that. And I got a full-length album coming out very soon. You guys can buy all my music at eddiebooz.com. And thank you very much for having me, man. I appreciate it.
So to start, just go to eddiebooz.com and buy all the music. You know what I mean? Because you need it in your life. Fucking amazing. And then just go on Eddie Booz's YouTube channel any day, and like you're gonna fucking see something, probably do something rad. But dude, I appreciate you being on here, man. It's always a pleasure, bro.
Love doing it with you, brother. Somebody asked in there, Vivian asked, does this chat have a Discord server? She wants to know. Not sure if
I just got a that cord server,
All good, buddy. All good.
No, I don't. I'm not smart enough to have a Discord server, bro. I can't even find the live chat of it on my app right now. Hey guys, maybe actually I do have a buddy that he helped me out with other businesses, and he was like a technical co-founder on a few things. But he's talking about doing the Discord. It's just a matter of at some point. So yeah, you know what? The fact that you just asked me though, Vivian, that's the universe telling me look into it. Just
get it done.
Why not? You know,
like you said, bro.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Do it.
On that note, go check out Eddie Booz on YouTube. Always support you at eddiebooz.com. Check the stream tomorrow, all that good stuff, and have a great rest of your night, everybody. Peace.
Take care.